Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Michael, aka Rickshaw, and welcome to Worship and Tribute Nerd. Today, we are going to be talking about some Stephen King bullshit. We're talking about The Shining and Dr. Sleep. So it'll be kind of like a Dr. Sleep review also, but you know what? We give bad reviews. So we're not good at reviews. I've been told that, yes, although it was very entertaining, it was a bad review. So... Also, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, leave us a comment about how much your mother loves our show. Anyways, we also do podcast versions of most of these videos, and you can find them at Apple Podcasts or Spotify. So there you go. I'll plug the rest of my shit at the end of the episode because I'm out of breath.
Like it up.
Today, I got it's a Scary Movie Club, but with a special guest. Introduce yourself.
I'm Toby.
Toby.
And Richard, a.k.a. Rabbit.
Yes.
As always.
It was funny that Destin was like, my name is Destin, and I have no other names. But yes, we had a good time. We filmed Comic Book Talk, and that will be coming out next week on motherfucking Worship and Tribute Nerd. Mountain Dew. I don't know why I said that. Anyways, today, shout out to fucking Screwball because they made some peanut butter whiskey. And
it's delicious.
So good.
And then we made some peanut butter whiskey.
White Russians.
And
Oh my God.
I gotta say, it's delicious. It's like a milkshake.
Yeah.
But gets you fucked up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I drank one after work the other day. I was like, I'm going to eat me a sandwich and drink me a milkshake. An adult milkshake.
A $5 milkshake?
Oh, yeah.
Can I have a taste of that? Gotta see what a fucking $5 milkshake tastes like.
Anyways, we seen Dr. Sleep the other day, and also we watched The Shining. And I would say that they're probably two of the best horror movie adaptations ever. Anyone want to disagree with me on that?
No, I love. Now I've never read the book, so I can't say. But those are two of my favorite Stephen King related stories.
Yeah, I'll agree. I mean,
yeah,
you can't go wrong with a Stanley Kubrick movie ever.
Yeah, and
even though they didn't really like each other.
But there was a lot of tension that was like...
If you saw the Stephen King version of The Shining, that was like a made-for-TV movie.
Right. I mean, I still liked it.
Wait, there's a made-for-TV version?
Yes,
they did one. They did one after Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, and it was
which you can't listen. I remember liking it, but it's also a made-for-TV movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that was like Stephen King's version of his book.
Well,
as a movie,
and I'm just still thought it had its redeeming qualities. See, me and Rabbit, tale as old as time. We butt heads about the movie versus the book Shining all the time. I don't think we even realized it at first until it started happening over and over. And then it's like, and I'm like, God damn it, Rabbit. Oh, fucking your shit. I just think that although the Stanley Kubrick version of The Shining was amazing, they left out a couple things that would have added tension and good drama and And whenever you read Stephen King's what he had to say about it, he said it was like kind of lifeless. And I don't think it's lifeless. That's kind of harsh for Stephen King to say, but I get why he thinks that.
He thought it was more about art over substance.
Right.
Like Kubrick's movie was more art.
Right.
And his book is more substance.
Right, but when
he
says
it portrayed that on screen,
like the lifelessness of it was like there's certain drama aspects of it that were left out. You know what I mean? Like the more of the Jesus, my family went crazy and tried to kill me. You know what I mean? Instead of
like the fire hose that tries to kill Danny. Is that right?
No, maybe not that far, but you know, and you know what? One of the cooler things in the book that is probably better just as a part in a book is whenever they first take a stroll through the maze earlier in the book when it's like springtime
Yeah.
And it's like nice out. They're like wandering through this maze and they're just like having fun as a family or whatever. It's like right before the snow starts coming down real hard. And all of the animals, like all the hedges are shaved into animals and stuff. So like you walk past them and there's like lions and tigers, and stuff.
And bears. Oh my.
And he starts, and Danny like gets lost in there. And then he starts realizing like some of these animals are like, he keeps passing over and over. And then he's like, what the hell? And then he like turns around at one point and they're like gone. Ooh. So it's like super creepy where it's like the bushes are literally following him around. But then you see the made for TV movie and it's like a CGI fucking mess. And you're like, oh, this is bad.
Oh, see, I was going to say I want to see that version, but I don't know.
I think it's good. But it's just good for things that they left out of The Shining. But The Shining is a better rounded movie, for sure.
Can we splice them together to make one movie?
Supercut?
Supercut?
No.
See,
you can't.
he thinks it's probably one of the best horror movies ever made, right?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I think so too.
It is.
But I'm just comparing it to the book. I'm not getting behind that Stephen King version of it. I'm not like, yeah, no, that version's sick. I'm more like, I could see why Stephen King might have wanted to make another version, but the darkest, creepiest fucking room 237.
Yeah, you have one of the greatest. You have one of the greatest directors of all time and one of the most prolific writers of all time.
Right. Why couldn't they just
combined
team up?
into one? And
I can only imagine the amount of Coke and whiskey that would happen if they teamed up on that movie to work on it together, and they just end up fist fighting every night.
Yeah, it might have been a shit show.
And then Stephen King's like, "That's why my face looks like this. It's because he punched me so many times." I'm just kidding, Stephen. I know you're gonna watch this. Let's talk about The Shining. Boom! Big sound effects. Anyways, The Shining is a story about the Torrance family and Jack. Is it Nicholas or Nicholson? Nicholson. Okay. The other one's the pro golfer. So Nicholson.
The other confused because
the other one's
It's like one of those Mandela effect things. I'm like, what is it?
Jack Nicholson is the golfer. Jack Nicholson is the actor.
Okay. So Jack Nicholson plays
Jack Torrance.
Yeah, Jack Torrance. Jack Torrance has a wife and a little boy, and he's just trying to write. He's just trying to write some shit up, and he gets offered a job at the Overlook Hotel. He's going to be taking care of the property. He's like, shit, this is a good idea because I could work on my fucking book at this place. So they move. Well, of course, Danny has some weird psychic shit that happens to him, warning him, "Oh, Red Rum, don't fucking go out there, dude." Yeah.
He doesn't want to go.
Right.
He doesn't want to go to that.
Doesn't want to go.
He doesn't know why.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
But he doesn't want to
go. His friend Tony told him that some bad fucking shit is waiting for him out there. So, of course, they go. And
it'd be a boring movie if they didn't go.
Right, exactly. Into the movie. Yeah, we shouldn't go. You're right.
Credits.
We got it good.
Roll credits.
Yeah, we got it good here. They hired me at Burger King. So they end up going to the Overlook Hotel, and it just so happens to be the most haunted place that exists.
Right.
So, lots of murder, lots of people dying, lots of shit. And you find out that Danny is very susceptible to these things via telepathy and psychic ability and all sorts of shit. And they call it The Shining. Roll credits.
Yeah. Well, they seek out Danny because he has The Shining, and they kind of want his power.
Well, I mean, they don't. They explore that more in the book and in Doctor Sleep.
Yeah.
The way that Kubrick kind of plays it out is like they're coming after Danny. They don't really tell you why. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But they definitely in the book, the Overlook is like a live entity, and it is like, it's like, whoa, this little boy has got The Shining real nice, and we want him to stay here forever.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So because if he stays there, then they could just fucking run amok and take physical form.
Yeah,
because
what's his name, the cook? He has the Shining too, but it's not as strong.
Right. He's just like, hat trick kind of guy.
It's like these things happen, but it's not as powerful as when Danny gets there.
Right.
Because when Danny shows up, that's when shit starts. Yeah. Like really.
And the old dude tells him too that he the way that he sees it, it's just pictures in a book. They can't hurt you. Yeah. But Danny's ability is like a little fucking far. So
and they actually
so they could touch him and they could grab him and stuff like that.
Does that mean that his dad might have the Shining a little bit? Because he has interaction with the bartender and. He kind of can see some of these. Now, I know he's also going crazy at the same time. Yeah. And not to jump too far ahead, but in Dr. Sleep, he kind of goes... Danny goes crazy just like his father did. So do you think that maybe Jack may have had a little bit of a...
Well, they kind of mentioned that almost everybody has like a certain amount of the Shining.
Mm-hmm. Whether it be
but
a hunch,
just on different levels.
I mean? Yeah. Right.
It's like when you get a gut feeling
right.
about something, that's like the Shining. But it's on different levels. I think it's more that the hotel was like possessing Jack Torrance.
Yeah.
To get to Danny.
Well, it seems like especially with the way that Dr. Sleep plays out and they explain a lot more, it seems like the hotel used Danny to manifest all of its things. It was like more alive than it's ever been because it was feeding off of Danny. Yeah. And that's how it got to Jack so easily. You know what I mean? That's how it seduced him so easily because it was just like, hey, you want some whiskey? And he was like, oh, man, I've been an alcoholic for most of my life. And then that's how it happened.
Good old Lloyd, the bartender.
Right. Fucking Lloyd.
Giving you imaginary whiskey.
Right. I just love the aesthetics of that movie, though, of The Shining. It just makes you feel like you're there if you're watching it. I mean, especially if you've ever seen it in the theater, you're there, and then they, anytime The Shining is like kind of there, you hear that heartbeat, like doosh, 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 doosh. And I love they brought it back, for Dr. Sleep.
Ooh, the music, just the music at the very beginning
sound.
of Dr. Sleep.
Yeah.
Oh. It was great.
Yeah, not just the score, but the sound. Like when Danny's riding his little tricycle thing, and it's like going over carpet and then hard floor, and then carpet then hard floor, and you hear it change. Yeah. Like the sound is so prevalent in all those scenes.
Who was? I'm sorry to cut you off. Who was the director of the Dr. Sleep?
Mike Flanagan.
Yeah, Dr. Sleep. Mike.
Which
Flanagan.
we'll get into that because Mike Flanagan is
he's
on fire right now.
So we'll just move on. Before we get into like details or anything, we'll move on to Dr. Sleep. Dr. Sleep is a sequel to The Shining, and it takes place like many, many years later whenever...
That's like 20 or 30
it's like
years, I think.
20
years?
20-something. And then, so it picks up from Danny as a small boy, like the end of The Shining. Anyways, we see what's his name?
Dick
Halloran.
Dick Halloran.
Dick Halloran.
That's my new porn
the character's name.
Right. So, so Dick Halloran.
That was my nickname in high school.
He'd be Dick Halloran. I got so much slam piece that my dick be hollering at me. It's like, oh, quit using me so much.
Or at least use me right.
Taming all this slam pig. Just messing me all up. Black my eyes. So Dick Halloran, he's at the beginning of Dr. Sleep. He kind of, he comes around and he teaches Danny, hey, these things are gonna be coming after you because shit, they realized how powerful you are. So even from the Overlook, they're gonna reach out and try to get that power from you, right? So he teaches them you need to learn how to psychically lock them up, lock them in a box. So then he learns.
Just little Danny just walks into the bathroom with that old ass scary lady in the bathroom, shuts the door.
Yeah, and then he's like,
"Dude, that's a good fucking scene."
It is good.
But he comes out of the bathroom and he's cool. He knows how to tame it, you know. But unfortunately, he still does have the shining, and he grows up with it, and he becomes an alcoholic. And on
like
top,
his father.
yeah, just like his father. And he is also a bad person. He's not a good person that's an alcoholic. He's a bad one.
Yeah.
So he moves to a new town, try to start over, and it's almost like he's influenced to go that way. Right? Yes. In the meantime, we see a little girl that is taken by a group of hippies.
The True Knot.
Right, that's the only way to explain it. They like playing guitar, and they put flowers in their hair.
They smell like patchouli.
Right. and we meet Rose the Hat, which is the main villain of the movie. How did you like Rose the Hat?
I've never fallen in love with somebody so fast. Just like
Rebecca
Rebecca Ferguson as Rose the Hat is just,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Like how I just loved her demeanor in that movie, man. She's just like, oh, well, we'll find her. And then we'll feast on her. We'll eat her. We'll eat her fear, you know? So, okay, so these people, you know, Rose the Hat is the leader of this hippie commune, but in actuality, they're not hippies at all. They're just a group of psychic vampires.
Exactly.
And they search for people with the shine, and they want to eat their shine, and it keeps them alive.
It comes out of their bodies in a steam.
Steam.
They call it steam.
They call it steam.
It's all
and they're
steamy.
And she spends her nights psychically looking through the crowds of people in their beds, seeing if they shine or not, because she wants to find someone super steamy so they can have a delicious meal.
Yeah.
Usually steamy kids. Well,
because they say adulthood taints the steam.
They're more pure when they're children.
Right.
And also like pain and fear brings out the steam.
Right.
Much like Pennywise.
Yeah. Yes.
I thought you were gonna say Monsters Inc. when they try to scare the kids.
And Monsters Inc. too. That's the exact same premise. Yeah.
Right. I mean, maybe Monsters Inc. was one step away from killing kids.
Hey, I think Monsters Inc. could fit into the. I'm dubbing it the KU, the King Universe.
Right.
King Universe. Yeah.
We need that because
it's definitely in that realm.
There's a lot of stuff in this movie that like made me think. And again, I haven't read any Stephen King books, but I've watched the movies. Like there's some stuff that makes me think of Dreamcatcher. There's some obviously stuff that makes you think of Pennywise.
Yeah.
There's a couple other movies that it's
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins for sure.
She's the antithesis of Pennywise. So Pennywise scares children to get his powers. Mary Poppins brings joy to children.
Them.
It's like a whole internet thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. Yeah. She brings joy to children to gain her powers.
Oh.
And they say that they say that Pennywise and Mary Poppins might be the same like type of,
but just on opposite spectrums.
On opposite spectrums.
That is an interesting theory.
It is very interesting, actually.
It's like
a spoonful of sugar.
Yeah.
It's like the difference between, like 2 22-year-old people going down on each other.
Is it?
And other people that shouldn't be going down on each other. One is like, no. And the other's like, well, yeah.
Of course.
Okay.
We've been working hard on our analogies around here. I'm like, how can I make this show better? I gotta make these analogies better. It's like, you're trying too hard. Okay, so where are we at in the story? Okay, so anyways,
they're steamy.
They're steamy.
They're sucking
they're
on their
eating
steam.
the life force or the
Right. So in the meantime, we meet a random little girl called Abra. And she makes a bunch of crazy shit happen at a birthday party. She makes a bunch of spoons levitate in the movie. And as soon as they drop from the ceiling and they hit the ground, it makes a psychic wave that kind of just like passes through the U.S. and everyone with psychic ability or the shining feels it.
Yeah.
And Rose the Hat feels it, and she's like, "Oh man,
I haven't felt anything like that in a while."
Yeah, she's like, "Damn, I smell steak."
Make me real hungry.
It made me real hungry. I feel fucking milkshake. But and also Danny feels it, and eventually Danny starts to kind of be a pen pal with this little girl. She
reaches out to Danny first.
Yeah, she writes on a little chalkboard, and from like hundreds of miles away, and starts talking with him, and they kind of talk back and forth for a while
through the chalkboard.
Yeah, right. So when she grows up, she becomes super steamy.
Super steamy.
Like we're talking
She's
about
very
shit.
steamy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just telling a story about flies, but with characters instead. I think the flies are like, "Ooh, she's steamy."
Yeah.
I'm all over that. It's poop. These analogies are working.
They're getting better.
Sorry. Yeah.
So as the True Knot is like capturing children and killing them off, she is feeling these effects and seeing it.
Yeah.
And then
when they kill the boy,
when they kill the baseball kid, she is there. She can witness it. And then, but Rose also knows that she's there. Yeah, she feels her. So that's when their connection is made.
So Rose is like, "Ooh, guys,
I found the steamiest of turds."
Yeah. Well, it's just funny though that she's like, "Hey guys, remember when we killed that kid earlier and drank all of his fear? There was someone watching, and they seemed real tasty."
This kid was like the appetizer too.
Don't they call her like a whale? Like, "Oh, that's a whale. You're looking for a whale."
Yeah. It's like
something to feed them forever.
Moby Dick.
Right.
Well, then she communicates with Danny. She slams the word murder into the chalkboard and sends a huge wave. And how does he explain that to his landlord? She was really specific about like
noise
and messing things up. The whole time I was like, "Is he gonna like try to fix that?" Like, he's gonna
she never once came in and be like, "You're being too loud."
Yeah,
I don't know how you explain that one to the fucking.
There was
landlord.
An earthquake and it spelled murder. I don't know.
Oh, did you notice? This is cool. Did you notice that? So in The Shining, Danny spells out red rum, and in the mirror, Shelley Duvall's character sees it as murder. Right. But in Dr. Sleep, it's the exact opposite. It spells murder on the wall on the blackboard, but when Uncle Dan, looks in the mirror, then it says red rum. Yeah. It's like the flip-flop.
That's interesting.
I thought that was really cool.
That is cool. So eventually, whenever Rose realizes that this chick is like super powerful, she starts finding ways to find her. She's got to find her. And then in the meantime, the little girl, Abra, is like getting a little cocky. She's like, "I'm super powerful, and these people need to be punished for killing the kid. They need to be found out. They need to be turned in something." So she goes after Rose and kind of like lets her find her and then attacks her psychically.
That whole scene is cool.
Yeah, sets up a trap. So whenever the Rose the Hat comes looking for her, she like traps her and like starts fucking with her, starts going through her head.
So this is the one thing that reminded me of Dreamcatcher a lot. Because when she's in first off, she's in Abra's head, or she thinks she is, and she's trying to open up the filing cabinet. Yeah. And Rose makes the comment like, "Oh, this is your filing system? You should see mine. Mine's a Coliseum." Or whatever.
And she's like, "Don't mind if I do."
Yeah. So when Abra's in there, she's like going through like a huge library of stuff. Yeah. Which that's what they do in Dreamcatcher. They like for their memories. Yeah. They kind of store them in their own library, and like there's a part where they're even talking about like, "Well, I don't know the lyrics to this song anymore," or whatever. Yeah. So I don't know. That's That's
right.
part of that
Stephen
KU.
King.
It's all in the KU. Yeah.
KU. Are you guys
I'm
like
coining
Kansas
that.
State University? You guys,
What the SKU? Can we do SKU?
yeah, Stephen
I mean, it
King
still sounds like a university.
Stephen King University. So eventually some things happen. They set up some traps. Some people die. And Abra gets kidnapped. And we go on this chase, And when the chase finally ends, it's Rose the Hat versus Danny and Abra. So Danny is like...
In the Overlook.
Yes.
They get
Danny
back
is like,
in the Overlook Hotel.
Danny is like, I'm taking her to the Overlook because I feel like it's a dangerous place for anyone that goes there, especially psychic, like
anyone
psychic,
with their abilities.
yes, psychic ability people.
And at that point, Rose is like the top.
yeah.
At that point.
And Rose is pissed at this point, too.
Because all her little buddies
All
got
her
killed.
cronies are dead.
Yeah, all of her homies. Her cronies.
That scene was a cool little battle scene. I'm not gonna go real into it, but I didn't expect the very last part of it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that got me.
Yeah.
I was literally upset sitting there like
That was rough. It was brutal.
Yeah.
But
So the
casualties on both sides. Say that.
Yeah.
So the final showdown happens at the Overlook Hotel, and Danny's getting his ass handed to him by Rose, and she's digging around in his head, and she's like, "Wait a minute, what are these things locked up in these boxes?
What are all these boxes?
What are all
Yeah.
these boxes?" And Danny's like, "They're hungry. They're fucking hungry or whatever." And then he's like, "Sick 'em, Dookie," or whatever. And then he opens all the boxes up, and they fucking feed on Rose the Hat. So
She's got a bunch of steam that they
right.
want.
Ooh, she's steamy.
They want all that. She's very steamy. Like,
I mean, she is pretty steamy.
she's the steamiest.
But I mean, in a nutshell, that's how the story goes down. Psychic vampires. Part one.
Yeah.
I mean, The Shining is essentially about the consequences of being super susceptible to spirits and psychic abilities, and then part two is essentially how some people are really into using their psychic ability and they want to feed on other people's psychic abilities.
And we kind of glossed over it, but they're feeding so they can extend their life.
Right.
They have this, what do they say? Eat well, live long, or something like
Eat
that.
well, live long.
Right.
So that's their whole thing, and that's the reason they're not just doing it for shits and giggles. They're doing it to
live. And it and they probably get a pretty intense buzz off of it too.
It seems like
yeah.
it.
Yeah, they get all horny and shit whenever they're like "Ugh," they're minions. They're like little minions. Whenever one of them passed away, and they were all "Oh no!" And then they're like,
Yeah,
that part was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're all just like, "Oh, he's dead."
yeah, and they're like,
And they suck up his
yeah.
steam.
And they're like, "Oh, sativa."
Yeah, pineapple express.
Toby, you never look like you get that joke. Do you get that joke? Sativa.
It's
Sativa.
weed.
It's like the weed.
Oh, I don't know nothing about weed.
It's like the type of weed. Okay, so you have indica.
Okay.
And you have sativa.
Okay.
And you have hybrid. So sativa is like the stay awake weed.
Okay.
Indica is like sleepy weed, and then hybrid is a combination of both.
See, I need my bosses to watch this part because then they'll be like, "Oh, he really doesn't know. He's not a stoner."
He doesn't smoke weed.
Yeah. So whenever they're inhaling all this steam, and I make the joke, sativa, it's like somebody's smoking good weed that keeps you up.
Ah.
Yeah.
They're like, "Ooh, yeah, that's that good weed. I'm awake."
See, now I will laugh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. There you go. Sorry that I didn't know that you didn't know.
No. I'm
Use
innocent.
it on the joke.
That's very innocent of you, honestly. But when you want to smoke, just make
Again, my bosses might be.
So let's go back.
All right.
The Shining was a very unique movie, and honestly, in our day and age, I'm surprised that that movie ever got made. Honestly, especially for how creepy, eerie, and the amount of blood used, and the time period and stuff like that. It's a weird but a lot of Stephen King movies have gotten the chance. You know what I mean? Because, because he was just such a successful writer. But Stanley Kubrick directed The Shining in 1980, and he was known for being a complete dick to Shelley Duvall.
100%. He
especially to Shelley Duvall.
Oh yeah, I've heard all the stories about how like he'd be like again.
He was known,
that was with everybody. Like multiple takes. He would do like 40 to 50 takes
until they were like exhausted or something.
Yeah,
with everyone.
With everyone.
Could you imagine Jack Nicholson doing that? Because he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that's going to put up with that.
No, he did. He put up with it. But he also said Jack Nicholson said that Shelley Duvall has had the hardest job of any actor he had ever seen making a movie, because Stanley Kubrick was such a dick to her.
Yeah,
and he also took it to like the next level. Like everybody like they shunned her basically.
Oh yeah, I've heard that they wouldn't talk to her.
They outcasted Shelley Duvall.
Yeah, and even on top of that, Jack said he had like Jack said he had a great time with Stanley Kubrick. He was like
that makes sense. They're both assholes.
He was like, we had a great working relationship, even though he like put us through the ringer and like made us grind every day. You know what I mean? So, and they also said, I read that they fed Jack cheese sandwiches, which is like the least favorite thing that he.
It was like the food that he hated the most.
They're like, what do you hate? Cheese sandwiches. They're like, that's all you're getting. So they fucking fed him cheese sandwiches all the time, and they said it like irritated him all the time to the point of like translating through the movie.
And he just never lost that irritation through his whole entire life.
Yeah.
He's like, those fucking cheese sandwiches, I'm still an asshole.
So this is the thing. We talk a lot about like method actors.
Yeah.
But Stanley Kubrick was a method director.
Right.
And nobody talks about that. He was so method that, yes, he did this shit. He fed Jack Nicholson only cheese sandwiches to pull a performance out of him.
I want to add
a good thing,
how much the actors and actresses in Dr. Sleep looked like the original actors and actresses.
They did a really good job.
Yeah. I was kind of there were certain scenes that I was like, was that an actual clip from the old movie, or was that something reshot with these new actors?
Yeah, the likeness was very good, and like the look of the hotel and everything like that.
I mean, you kind of have to use that iconic carpet now. If you're going to do anything that's related to The Shining, like if you're doing a parody on The Simpsons, whatever, it's got to have that same carpet. Otherwise, it's not a real parody of it.
Right.
And then some of the shots in Dr. Sleep, like that's why I was asking about the director, because like some of the shots they looked like they were straight out of The Shining, like just
they were
the long the long shots that he would do and stuff,
like the swoop down over the lake. That's the same shot.
It's actually a shot that Stanley Kubrick filmed, and they refurbished it, like over the lake with the little island in the middle.
Right.
That was Stanley Kubrick shot that.
Oh, okay. Well,
and they used that film and they refurbished it, but they changed it to where it was like night instead of day, and it was snowing instead of summer or whenever it was.
There was just even like some of the scenes while they're in the hotel, like it has that Kubrick feel, and it's kind of. It's crazy.
Well, also, Rabbit noticed that, like, so in Dr. Sleep, there's a part where he is in AA, and then, like, the guy that's, like, the guy in charge of the building or whatever, he, like, calls him in there and talks to him about his, like, how he told him where his watch was. So then he calls him in his office, and he's like, tell me about how you knew where my watch was, blah, blah, blah. Well, that office was the exact same color, the exact same pictures on the wall, everything, as the office that Jack sits in whenever he's getting the interview to go to the Overlook.
It's the exact same office.
Same office.
They rebuilt it to like the specs. Well, they rebuilt the whole thing. Like the whole hotel was all rebuilt to the exact blueprints.
Yeah, because
from The Shining.
The original Shining, the outside of the hotel, that's a real hotel.
Right, yeah.
Like, they use that for the outside shot. But most of what's inside in the movie is a set they built.
Right.
So those same blueprints they used to rebuild the new set for Dr. Sleep.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Because there was a lot of stuff that I was like, man, this looks like they did so much justice from The Shining to this movie. Like, they made it feel like the same actors. They made it feel like it was the same director. Like, they made it feel like... How many years is it? When Shining came out in the 80s?
1980.
So 39 years later?
Yeah.
That's 39
Jesus Christ, 39 years. Like, it looks like they could have filmed it like back to back almost. I mean, obviously, Dr. Sleep looks 4K and whatever quality it's in right now, but it still looks like they just continued and they didn't hit a snag at all.
Yes. Which was all intentional because Mike Flanagan, who directed Dr. Sleep, I read that in his talkings with Stephen King, that he wanted to make a sequel to The Shining, Kubrick's The Shining,
right,
instead of making Dr. Sleep, which is the sequel to Stephen King's Shining.
Right.
And his reasoning was that most people know the movie. Right. Like, more people know the movie than the book.
Right.
So
me.
the sequel was a sequel to the movie, not the book.
Right.
So all of his influence, the score, the way he filmed, all the transition shots he made were all directly influenced by the movie.
Right.
That's why it's so...
And honestly, some of the things that were different from the Dr. Sleep book, and like The Shining ended with the hotel blowing up. So whenever you
spoilers,
whenever you go back in Dr. Sleep, it's like the grounds on which the hotel existed.
Okay.
And it's still haunted, just the grounds, you know what I mean? Yeah. But whenever you see, it kind of works better for it to still be standing.
Right.
And for them to revisit it, you know what I mean?
And then burn it down.
Yeah, and then burn it down. So then it's a little more exciting when you see it like that in a movie, you know what I mean? Also, I had a brain fart just now. So.
Cool.
I can't remember what I was going to say, actually. So yeah,
someone was trying to see how much steam you had, and they hit you with a psychic wave, and you just went, oh.
And then they saw that I had steam coming out of my butt instead of my brain,
and they're like, oh, wrong steam. Next guy.
And then you can eat my butt though if you want.
Well, I can praise Mike Flanagan for a second.
Yeah, let's do it.
So.
Yeah, Mike Flanagan did.
I think, I'll say this first of all. In the hands of anyone else, Dr. Sleep, the sequel to The Shining,
could have been wacky.
Could have been just a cheesy mess.
Yeah.
But in Mike Flanagan's hands, he did it justice. He did it perfect. And that's because he is on a fucking roll right now.
Yeah.
As far as horror movies and stuff goes.
He did
The Haunting of Hill House, right. which okay. Dr. Sleep feels like just a long episode of Haunting of Hill House.
Kinda, yeah.
He used a lot of the same actors, and but just stylistically also, it just fits. Yeah. For some reason, like, it fits with Kubrick's Shining.
Yeah.
And everything he's done up to that has been amazing.
I thought Dr. Sleep was amazing, and he's definitely like the perfect candidate to direct it. And shit, I just had a good time. I've watched it twice now, and I'm still just like kind of thinking about it, like, yeah. I'm like I'm on an elevator somewhere, and there's a lady standing next to me. I'm like, oh yeah. she's like, what a pervert. And I'm daydreaming about horror movies.
You know what?
Yeah, not you, lady. Thinking about that.
I'm real big on like watching. I love watching the director's commentary with a movie. This will be one as soon as it comes out, available on Blu-ray or whatever. I'm gonna pick it up. I'll probably have to watch the commentary on it because it's just to see like what other insight they had to it. Like if there was little things that you miss, like the Office thing, I would have never picked up on any of that. But like little things like that, I like when they share that kind of stuff. So I wonder how many other little Easter eggs there are for people that were really paying attention and die hard.
Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of like Easter eggs.
Yeah,
especially in like the second half or the third act of the movie, like it's all Easter eggs.
Right.
That's the whole point of the third act of the movie.
The third act is like,
it's all.
Hey, guess what? Hotel.
We're back at the Overlook.
Oh, you like The Shining?
Like,
here it is.
Yeah.
Like,
guess what? Jack's there.
Like Danny
What's
takes
up?
the same. Danny takes the same walk down the hallway that Jack does to go into the gold room, and he has the same like you were saying. He has the same. When he goes to the bar, sits at the bar, looks at the camera, and then there's a bartender there all of a sudden when the bar was empty before. Like,
and then I love how
they're not even Easter eggs. It's just like,
I love how it shows up. He shows up. Bartender shows up. He's got one bottle. He's like, hey, come on. Why don't you do it? Might as well.
Yeah.
Medicine. And then as the conversation gets more and more like tense, there's like bottles
the whole
all behind him.
Oh, there wasn't there?
Yeah. And then it's like, it's medicine, you know? And then
he's like, drink
like,
your medicine.
And he's like, a man can only stand so much. And then
Have
he's
your
like,
medicine.
and that's why we have our medicine. And then it's like bottles everywhere. That was so good.
And the guy that was playing Danny, when he has his little possessed phase, like his father.
Oh, Jack, you mean?
No. When he's in Doctor Sleep.
Yeah.
When he gets kind of that craziness, and he's
right.
got the wide eye.
Yeah.
Like he moves just like Jack Nicholson. Like he's got the hunchback, and like he's kind of carrying the axe or whatever he's got.
Right.
Like he did a damn good job, like doing the exact same thing that Jack Nicholson did. I don't know. It was just like all the actors were on point in this movie. Like all the shots were perfect. The director was obviously a bad motherfucker. Like,
yeah, he's sick.
What
else did he do? He did.
So he's done like a lot of horror movies. So Hush is probably my favorite one.
Okay.
If you've seen Hush, it's like the.
Have you ever seen that?
She's deaf.
I've read the comic book of Batman Hush.
No. It's like this lady that lives alone and she's deaf.
Oh, I have seen that. That's really good.
Yeah, and there's like a home invader.
Right.
She's
but she can't hear, but she can see. And anyway, Oculus. You see Oculus?
Yeah, Oculus.
That was a good one.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Like, if someone's got a script for like, okay, there's going to be a creepy house, a creepy hotel, we got to go back to it. Mm-hmm. He's probably going to like fucking hit it out of the park.
Right, and he also
100%,
he also has it's obviously has a Stephen King infatuation.
Gerald's Game.
He did Gerald's Game.
Yeah.
I don't know that one.
Gerald's Game is
it was a Netflix original that he directed.
And
I'll have to go watch it though.
It's a short story by
really
Stephen
good.
King.
It's part of the KU, yeah. It's in the KU.
We're getting that coin.
It's in the KU.
The Kansas State University.
In the KU.
Basketball team or
it's on video. KU.
Also, I thought about this when they were in the maze. Have you ever thought when someone says corn maze, they're really just saying like corn or maze.
Is that written down?
For those that
it sure is. I like that.
I put that one in my notes. So yeah.
For those bilingual who
you're
speak Spanish.
So overall, Dr. Sleep, The Shining, I recommend it. Watch the first one and then go watch the second one. It's gonna be fucking awesome. I loved it. I love both of them.
Loved it. Love them. Yeah.
Love them. Absolutely love them.
Lovely.
Lovely guys.
So anyways, Toby, is this one going to air after?
I don't know, but he was on a show of
in charge
of Secret Transmission podcast where we did an After Dark episode. I wish I could tell you which number it was, but it's recent. So go check it out. It's available on all the podcasting platforms. And we talk about ghosts and ghost jizz and
ectoplasm.
It keeps coming up for some reason. But we talk about some conspiracies and some other fun stuff, and we just had a good time.
Yes, it was very fun. And then also next week we're gonna have a comic book talk come out, and Toby was in that episode, so stay tuned for that. And thanks for being here.
Thank you.
This was a fun talk. Dr. Sleep, Stephen King for life. Anyways, I was just joking about those punches to the face, Stephen. You're a handsome man. So if you like our videos, hit the like button, subscribe if you already haven't, and leave us a comment. Tell us which Stephen King book is your favorite. Anyways, see you later, nerds.